Hello and welcome to Crouton Cracker Jacks. Today I'm going to show you how to make these red, white, and blue star-shaped ice cream sandwiches for 4th of July. These are the ingredients that you'll need, so let's get started. I'm going to start off by making up some sugar cookies here. This is my own recipe and I have a video that shows how I make those. I will put a link in the description box for that. But I've just taken the wet ingredients and combined those and then split them in half into 2 bowls. And I'm going to color the wet ingredients first before I add the dry. It's a lot easier to color that way. But one of these I'm going to color blue. I used Royal Blue by Americolor. Their gel food coloring. It's what I prefer. I don't get paid to say that. It's just the food coloring that I like. And I'm going to mix that up. And for the other one, I used 5 drops of Americolor's Super Red. But once you get that mixed together, you can go ahead and add your dry ingredients. Because you've split this in half, you want to do half of your dry ingredients in each bowl. I'm going to add in my flour as well as my baking powder, or if you're using a different recipe, use whatever your recipe calls for, and then mix that together until it forms a dough. Now, most sugar cookies require you to refrigerate the dough after you make it before you roll it out, so you want to form that into a ball and put it into a plastic baggie and refrigerate it for the amount of time that your recipe calls for. And once your dough is chilled, you want to sprinkle your countertop with a little bit of flour. And you want to take your dough out of your baggie and place it onto the flour. I like to press it down just a little bit, sprinkle just a little bit more flour onto the top, and as well as the rolling pin. You don't want to use too much flour here, and you want to roll it out, giving it a quarter turn every few rolls. Make sure you don't do this with your dough. And once you roll it out to about 3/16 of an inch thick, you want to use a 3.5 inch star cookie cutter and cut out some star cookies. And once you have as many cookies cut out as you can fit, go ahead and remove some of the outside scrap material and carefully lift up your cookies and place those onto a cookie sheet that's lined with either a silicone baking mat or some parchment paper. Now, before you bake these, you want to use either a pastry brush or a paper towel or something, and you want to dust the excess flour off the top, and then you want to bake that according to your recipe's instructions. Once they are finished in the oven, go ahead and let them cool on your cookie sheet for a couple of minutes before removing them to a wire rack to cool completely. Now, while your cookies are cooling, you want to get your ice cream stars ready. I've got a plate here that I've chilled in the freezer for about an hour, so I have a nice cold surface to work on so my ice cream doesn't melt too much on me. I'm just going to take a square of wax paper and place that onto the plate, and then put my cookie cutter down, the same cookie cutter that I used to cut out my cookies. And using a spoon and some vanilla ice cream, I'm just going to spoon this right in to that cookie cutter using that as a mold. Now, I tried before just spreading the ice cream out into a pan, lifting it out and cutting out the shapes, but that really did not work for me. It might work for you. The problem I had with it is the shapes did not want to come out without destroying the shape of the ice cream. It wanted to melt right back into each other, and it was just a mess. So I decided to go this way. And once I got my cookie cutter full all the way to the top with my ice cream, I just leveled off a little bit and cleaned off my spoon, and then you want to carefully unmold this. Using the back of a spoon kind of to get into those corners or those tips and carefully work it out. You don't want to destroy your shape here. It's actually not too difficult, as you can see. The cookie cutter just slides right off. And then you want to put your ice cream star into the freezer as soon as possible. You don't want this to melt on you. Now, to actually assemble our ice cream sandwiches, I'm going to take one of the cookies here and place it right on top of our ice cream star. You want to press down just a little bit, not too hard here, because you don't want to break your cookie in half. Turn it over and remove your wax paper and place another cookie of the opposite color right on top. Gently squeeze that together, and using an offset spatula, I'm going to clean up the edges just a little bit where that ice cream melted and kind of overflowed the cookie cutter a little bit. You don't have to do this. It's strictly optional. And you also don't have to use an offset spatula. You can use a regular butter knife or a spoon for that. And then again, put this right back into your freezer so that ice cream does not melt on you. And once you get them all completed, you can go ahead and take them out one by one and take some red, white, and blue jimmies, also known as sprinkles, and sprinkle the outside edge of ice cream with those sprinkles just to kind of dress it up a little bit. You could also use colored sugar for this, or I've seen the red, white, and blue stars. You could use those for that. Whatever you want, or you could just leave it plain as well. And once you get them entirely coated with those sprinkles, go ahead and shake off the excess. Place them back into the freezer for a good few hours to let that ice cream firm up nice and firm. and then wrap your ice cream sandwiches in wax paper. And there you go. That is how I made red, white, and blue star-shaped ice cream sandwiches for 4th of July. I hope you guys enjoy, and thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more deliciousness. If you'd like to follow me on Google+, Facebook, and or Pinterest, all my links will be down below in the description box. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.